This is a tweet from Charlie Bellello. It says 44.6% of the U.S. homes for sale face bidding wars in August, the seventh straight monthly decline and lowest level since April of 2020. A year ago, the rate was 64%, and in January, it hit a high of 69.8%. Note, a bidding war is defined as an offer with at least one competing bid. He pulls a Redfin article. Now, I have run into, like, a bidding war is a little weird. Normally, there's like two people that want the house. Now, and back in the day, it'd be about two people as well. But then when there was all those, there'd be like 35 offers on a house, 40 offers, 60 offers. It was ridiculous. I don't know what to make of it. Well, I do. I know how I would make an offer. I know how I'd structure an offer right now based on what I know what's going on in the marketplace. Here's where he pulled it from. Bidding war rate drops to the lowest level since 2020 as mortgage rates surge. So look, mortgages go up, affordability goes down. Sellers don't understand that. They don't care. They're like, my neighbor got 300,000. I want 350. It's a hot market. Just over 4 in 10 Redfin homeowners faced competition in August, down significantly from a year earlier, as 6% mortgage rates prices buyers out of the market. Now, this is hard for me to believe in some way, but I'm going to show you why it's not so hard to believe in a minute. I'll show you in a minute. I had a little brain fart there. Nationwide, 44.6, and this is the part that he did. I'm not going to read that. The offer is considered part of a bidding war if a Redfin agent reported that it received at least one competing bid. The statistics in this analysis are subject to revision. Data below on property type and metro area is not seasonally adjusted. Redfin's bidding war data goes back to April 2020. That's kind of interesting to me because, you know, like I said, I've helped buyers buy homes, and there's been bidding wars before the 2020. Typical home in a bidding war received 3.2 offers in August compared with 3.5 1 month earlier and 5 1 year earlier. I think that's fair. I think there are fewer multiple offers. The bidding war rate is falling as the housing market cools. It's not cool. It's not cool. It's dicey. And buyers back off from pandemic-driven home buying frenzy in 2021 and early 2022, with the number of home sales down nearly 20% year over year. Still strong in St. Louis. I was talking to the title company. They have 10 closings on Friday. They were doing 160 closings a month. Buyers are dropping out of the market, and competition is dwindling largely because mortgage rates have doubled from a year ago, reaching 6% mid-September. Wait until you see what they are today. The increase in rates makes buying a home much more expensive. A buyer purchasing a $400,000 home has a monthly mortgage payment of roughly $2,500 with today's 6% mortgage rate, up from $2,000 with last year's 3%. It's a little bit more dramatic than that. Redfin agents report that many prospective buyers have backed off because they can't afford the high monthly payments that come with 6% plus mortgage rates. I don't think that's 100% true. They have to change what they're willing to purchase. Persistent inflation, which is near its 40-year high, and slumping stock market are also cutting in Americans' budgets and causing buyers to back off. That's exactly right. I saw the interview with Biden. He said that the inflation hadn't even just creeped up significantly insignificant over 2 months. Slumping stock market, okay. And some prospective buyers have decided not to purchase home because they're worried home values. Well, I have a buyer that backed out of the market because they're like, what if I don't have a job? How am I going to pay for this? The good news for buyers, there is none, is that even though they're paying their higher mortgage rates than they were last year, they're likely to face less competition, and homes priced are slightly lower than they were at the peak of the market. Not here yet, but boy, it's just going to be a mess. And sellers can still get a fair price if they're realistic and understand that the market has slowed down. That's true. You can still get a very good price if you understand what's going on. The worst thing the seller can do right now is price their home too high, and the best thing they can do is just price it below market value to catch buyers' interest. Always a dangerous strategy. Resourceful sellers understand that the market is intertwined with rising mortgage rates. Buyers aren't going to pay extreme amounts of money or waive contingencies like they did last year, but they will pay a fair price for a nice home, determined fair. This is just where it's like the locations. I'm not really interested. So we're going to move on. Yeah, the market's changed. This is. I wanted you to see this one because it speaks to me. Wall Street Silver. It says this guy wrote. It said, "This is crazy. If you secured a 30-year fixed mortgage on a $600,000 loan at a 2.6% interest rate in 2021, you have the same monthly mortgage payment as someone that just bought a $392,000 home at today's 6.2 interest rate." And says, "Realtors now is a great time to buy a house." I've never been a big fan of, you need to buy now. You need to buy right this moment. I've never been that way. So what can I say? I've always been, hey, if you need to buy a house, buy a house. Don't need to buy a house, don't buy a house. Will you be able to refinance at a great rate in the future if home values go down? Dicey. This is Danielle D Martino Booth. I once retweeted her and she liked my tweet. And I'm not very good on Twitter, so that's she gets a free pass for everything now. It says, a sober look, Lev Borodovsky correctly observes home prices are falling rapidly. It says an analysis of home purchase contracts entered into mid-September indicates that HPA will moderate home price appreciation slightly to 10.5% in September 2022 and 9.1% in October 2022, 2% and 1% on a real inflation adjusted basis. I don't think it's going to do that. I don't think October is going to look good. A lot of people don't understand seasonality in real estate. Fortune magazine, they put this behind a paywall. I'm not going to go behind the paywall because I can figure this out. It says spiking mortgage rates could help achieve a housing reset. Fed's Chair Jerome Powell. Now look, when you have inflation, when you have bad monetary policy, assets increase, the prices increase. It's exactly what's happened in the housing market. It's not good. Not good at all. Here's the treat. Here's the thread. It says, Powell says, we're in a difficult housing correction. And why are we in a housing correction? It's because you guys printed a lot of money. New home sales and existing home sales are down 29.6 and 19.9% year over year. Such downturn leads to rising inventories and the risk of falling home prices. There's no risk of falling home prices. You're going to get falling home prices. And as far as rising inventory levels, let's just say you bought a home in 2021 and your mortgage is below 3%. Are you going to sell? Why? What are you going to buy? What are you going to buy that's not going to cost more? I mean, the housing market is going to lock itself up significantly. And the only thing that's going to come on the market is garbage. It's going to be grandma died. We got to sell the house. Many housing analysts believe the Fed's reset is in fact a code for home prices to drop. Well, it's not code. Anybody can figure this out. What's going to happen? It says there are a lot of markets across the country where we're forecasting that home prices are going to fall double digits. Well, but how much did they rise? You know, if you bought a house in 2017, are you going to be hurt? This summer, the Fed released a paper finding that the pandemic housing boom was driven by a demand surge, not supply constraints. I never did think it was supply, but I read a lot that it was supply. The ongoing housing correction has halted that demand boom, which could help return some balance. There's no balance in the market. There's no balance. When you're at 7% interest rates, that's not balance in the market. It says the Fed's housing reset isn't just about housing, it's about taming inflation. Right, because it's an asset class and it got, bid up. And even though the housing market is already weakened, inflation is still 8%, far from the 2% goal. It says Fed's inflation fighting playbook. Central bank increases mortgage rates. Home sales sink and existing home inventory spikes. Home builders begin to cut back. Demand for commodities fall. Demand across the economy falls. Inflation slows down. What about jobs? We have high employment, low GDP. Something doesn't make sense there. Ideally, Powell would like to see the Fed's housing reset return us to a balanced housing market. Not going to happen. It's going to get crushed. However, the Fed's mandate from Congress isn't to ensure affordable housing, but to maintain maximum employment and stable prices. Again, not good. If inflation proves sticky, the Fed may push so hard on the housing market that new construction plummets. Then we get the type of recession that would stamp out inflation and exacerbate the housing supply deficit. In the process, hardly any balance. What if we don't get that type of recession at all? We get a recession where everyone loses their jobs and there's no jobs and therefore no money for people to buy inflated goods. That would be bad. Charlie Biello again. Existing home sales fell for the 7th consecutive month, down 20% over the last year, and at their lowest level since May of 2020, following the same pattern as the last housing bubble. Affordability collapses, sales plummet, prices decline. It could happen. It could happen. It's not good. Market's not good right now. If you came to me and say, John, I want to buy a house, will you help me? Yes. But house prices are going to go down, John. That's no good. House prices are going to go up someday too. We don't know when. If you need shelter, okay, what are you going to do? Go rent? Is that? Have you looked at the rents lately? It's not like they're down. I mean, you know, I've been around enough now. I was around during 2007. I'm going to be around during this. Our society and the way the Fed operates, you're going to get booms and busts in everything over and over and over again, no matter what rules they put into place. You know how they blamed loose lending for the last mortgage or the last crisis, housing crisis? You think they changed all the lending and we're still going to have it? So what are we going to say is the fault then? Remember, I had to get my fingerprints due to the last housing crisis. All realtors had to get their fingerprints. That was how we solved that problem.